Zoli, are dreams always signs or messages?
No. Sometimes it's that whole pizza that you just ate. Every food is chemicals. Everything's chemicals. You put something in the body, you breathe the air, you're breathing chemicals. Everything can be broken down in the physical world to chemicals. So the body will throw off toxins, it'll process things, little mitochondria cells working real hard to give you energy. I don't know the ballistics of the whole thing, but a lot of times dreams are like, oh my God, you just didn't deal with this during the day. We're going to talk about it. Why did I dream of Taylor Swift last night? I can't even tell you what that girl sings or I don't know. But why did I? Well, I saw something on the internet about her. I thought, well, that's interesting, I guess. So you don't know. We can't make too much of everything. But I think if something with dreams, if something really sticks with you, and God knows I've had dreams like that, you have, everybody has, pay attention to that and maybe not do the whole pizza before you go to bed.
That's good advice because it stops you from getting caught up in the deep meaning of a dream that just was, your physical reaction to what you ate. Whereas other recurring dreams or something that keeps niggling at you, you might realize does have a deeper message.
Yes, you hit on something, Linda. The recurring dreams very interesting to me. I've shared part of this with you before, and I'll bring it up again. That I used to have when I was much younger. I'd have a recurring dream where I would be in a city I didn't know of, and it was dark and ominous, and I didn't have my purse. I didn't know anybody, and I was lost. I didn't know, and it was horrible. And over the years, that dream morphed into being in the city, and it wasn't night, it wasn't dark. Then it morphed into me asking for help. Then it morphed into me having my purse, and where I'd be in an airport and I could ask for help. And when I have the dream now, I'm either driving a vehicle leaving that place, but it's showing me that over the years, I've had to learn to find my own way. That's a recurring thing for me because I'm very independent. I refrain from asking for help like in public. I'm very polite. I don't want to disturb people. I want to be kind, but also there's some ego in that too. So one of the recurring dreams that I have, and that is one of them, I have seen my progress over the years, and you'll see that if you pay attention.
That's interesting how it progressed over the years and changed, and by being aware of it, you could see how it related to you.
Well, it's a karmic situation for me. This idea of you can only work best in a community if you really are trying to be authentic, if you're really being yourself. And when we get into groups, especially with females, we will combine, energies and this and that. And a lot of times we'll drop our authentic self. And that's toxic. Just don't want to do that. So I think you can define some of your life lessons by the dreams, but that's going to be a very personal thing. It's something fun to notice.
It really is, but it's also something you don't want to get too carried away with because you'll forget what you're here to do and just try to spend all your life dreaming.
That's true, and that dream world is very important because the parts of us that are not physical figure things out. And we do go off at times and we do things with people in the astral realm. We do things in our mind that allow us to resolve issues. It's a very beautiful, beautiful world.
And is it a world we only reach through sleeping, or can we reach it in other ways?
I don't know the answer to that. I think we're always in touch with the astral realm because it's the realm up that is a little finer than the physical, the 7 levels of that. And the physical world doesn't have 7 levels. It just doesn't. And so the astral realm, the first 2 levels of the astral realm are very much interwound with the physical, and that's what people call hell or the demonic. It is where the icky stuff lives, and it's so connected to the physical world and its problems and the what religious people call the seven deadly sins or our tendency to act out our personality rather than our soul. The soul does not hang out on the first two levels of the astral realm, I tell you that. And we do deal with that during the day quite a bit. You can get messages from beings during the day who are in the third through the seventh levels of the astral realm. So it's always there. There's always communication with the mental and spiritual realms occasionally. But it's whatever level we're at. Humans are so emotional still. We're still acting like we're on Atlantis hundreds and thousands of years in that continent trying to learn what the emotions are. So, by being more mental and by being calmer, you will move out of your consciousness in the astral realm into solutions.
That's a great explanation that really brings it back to how calmness grounds you and helps you see the wider perspective of things.
We panic so easily, it's part of human nature. It's just part of what we are because, as I've said before, I know that we're wired for bear. The minute you're born, you're wired to react to any kind of threat. It's all below the heart. It's this pain, sexuality, and fear, and the inner self is trying to reach everything below the heart, but you can only reach it through compassion in the heart. You know all that. I mean, that's the chakra system. But I think we are wired for that to protect ourselves. But when we work together as a collective, I think a lot of that fear can fall away. Now, that's not saying if you work as a collective of extreme preppers so you're sure everybody's going to kill them, that's not a good thing. Or maybe they are. I don't know.
Well, that's living right from fear for sure.
Yes, and that's a good point. Living from fear and living being aware that the world is a deep, dark, evil place. And there is horror out there and it's awful. And a seventh of the world is in China, a seventh of the world is in India. Those are third, maybe second, third world countries and places with hundreds of dialects. And people don't live as one, but they live differently. Differently from what? Than from the first world, which is what we are. And I know with Zoliart, with these podcasts, with the books, with the radio shows, I know I'm addressing the first world, the Western world, Western Europe. I'm aware of that. And it's kind of embarrassing when I forget that and I'm not aware of it. But I subconsciously I am. But that is where my focus is.
Yes, it's definitely a different atmosphere, and the our realities are not necessarily the same realities across the world. We're aware of that as well.
Well, and that's where the problem comes. There's the seven deadly sins that we all have in us. And if we think we don't, just ask somebody you know, do I do that? Well, let's see. Now, the last time you did that, to a minor degree, but there it is. And it's just human nature. It's the nature of humanity. And we have to fight. You want to fight something? There's a good fight. You want to fight the tendencies to drop the intellect and the way to work through things without the fire of the emotions challenging us. You want to work through that and you want to fight that tendency to live in the personality rather than accessing the soul.